in the heart of the evening, with the soft embrace of the night surrounding us, we find ourselves at the beginning of another soulful journey. It's a rare moment, isn't it, when the world quiets down and our minds are free to wander and dream each evening as the stars twinkle overhead and the moon casts its gentle glow. We embark on a voyage to distant lands and timeless tales. Tonight is no exception. Imagine the caress of old parchment, the soft rustling of pages turning, and the allure of tales from an era where life moved at a slower pace. Here, on Sleepy Voyages, we have the privilege to traverse through time to an England of rolling hills and grand estates, to a place where carriages graced the roads. Balls were the talk of the town. Love unfolded amidst societal norms and spirited conversation, an era where letters held deep emotions and glances spoke volumes. Pride and Prejudice, a story that has captured countless hearts, offering lessons in love, understanding. We're about to set sail on this literary odyssey, where timeless truths weave through the fabric of societal norms and passionate encounters. Let the magic of Jane Austen's words and the journey of our beloved characters. Before we tuck you in tonight, voyagers of the night sky, we have a small but crucial request. As your eyelids grow heavy and the soothing tones of Sleepy Voyages guide you to the realm of dreams, remember the peace, serenity, and comfort that we bring to you every night, just as a lighthouse guides lost ships. In the darkness, your reviews help other restless dreamers find their way to us. By leaving a review and sharing your thoughts on your experience, you are reaching out to other insomniacs lost in the night, guiding them towards restful sleep. Take a moment before you drift away to click on the Leave a Review button on your podcast app. Help us extend our galaxy of tranquility to all those who seek the solace of sound sleep. And once you've done that, feel free to slip back under the covers of our sleep stories, ready to be whisked away on another sleepy voyage. Remember, your stars light the way for others. Every review, every rating helps us create a bigger, more beautiful universe of peace and rest. Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy guide us tonight. May their paths of self-discovery and love inspire our own journeys. Pride and Prejudice is not just a tale, but a tapestry of emotions, social dynamics, and intricate character development, penned by the talented Jane Austen. The novel unfolds in the early 19th century England, a time where societal norms and the subtle undertones of class distinctions dictated the fate of relationships and marriages. At its core, the story tells of the Bennet family, primarily focusing on the second eldest daughter, Elizabeth Bennet, and her tumultuous relationship with the enigmatic Mr. Darcy. Their interactions, filled with misunderstandings, quick judgments, and sharp wit, serve as a window into the deeper lessons the tale offers. It's easy to mistake Pride and Prejudice as just another love story, but its depth goes beyond that. Each character in the story, from the proud Mr. Darcy to the vivacious Elizabeth, undergoes transformation. The name of the novel itself encapsulates the two primary obstacles our protagonists must overcome: their own pride and prejudice. Darcy, with his initial haughty demeanor, represents the pride that often clouds judgment. Elizabeth, on the other hand, embodies prejudice, a result of quick judgments without the full understanding of situations or characters. Yet, the beauty of the story lies in its revelations, the slow peeling away of layers of misunderstandings, and the eventual coming together of two strong-willed individuals. Their journey is punctuated by a series of events that not only bring them closer, but also teach them about their own flaws, forcing them to introspect and evolve. This dance between pride and prejudice, between resistance and acceptance, gives the story its universal appeal. For, in essence, aren't we all navigating our own biases, making judgments, and learning from our mistake? By exploring the narrative of Elizabeth and Darcy, we are gently reminded of the power of self-awareness, the importance of understanding, and the transformative nature of genuine love. While the world of Pride and Prejudice may be centuries away from our own, its lessons are timeless, resonating with every heart that yearns for connection, understanding, and growth. Certainly, in the heart of England, amidst its rolling countryside, lies a tale steeped in emotion, societal norms, and a dance of judgment. Pride and Prejudice is not just a narrative of love found, lost, and rediscovered. At its core, it speaks to the essence of human nature. Our preconceptions can blind us, making us prisoners of our own biases. Yet, when confronted with raw honesty, these walls crumble, revealing a heart willing to embrace change. Tonight, listeners, we unravel the intricate web of relationships and introspection in the Bennet household, a family with its joys, hopes, dreams, and challenges, just like any other. But within this common tapestry, extraordinary tales of love and self-discovery shine. Jane Austen's world beckons, where handwritten letters bear the weight of confessions, where ballroom dances aren't just dances, but a mirror to society's heart, and where every turn phrase hides layers of meaning. For Elizabeth Bennet, our spirited protagonist, this tale isn't merely about finding love, it's about understanding oneself, confronting one's flaws, and emerging stronger. Her interactions with Mr. Darcy, both bitter and sweet, are a testament to the journey of self-awareness. Meryton, a quaint market town nestled in Hertfordshire, carries an atmosphere of an old-world charm. Every street corner tells a story, every brick laid echoing with whispered tales of families that have trodden them for generations. The air is often filled with a mixture of the scent from fresh flowers in bloom and the distant hum of a vibrant community engaging in daily affairs. The residents of Meryton find delight in the simplest of activities. Morning greetings exchanged between neighbours, children playing along the streets, and elders reminiscing about days gone by. The town boasts of little shops that cater to everyday needs, offering a glimpse into a life that is unhurried and anchored in tradition. As with any tight-knit community, news travels fast in Meryton. The latest tidbits of gossip, shared over cups of tea or during afternoon walks, keep the townsfolk entertained. The local assembly hall stands as the heart of social life. It's here where dances are held, where the rhythms of violins and soft laughter blend, allowing people to revel in the joys of companionship. Days in Meryton begin with the warm hues of sunrise, casting golden glows upon rooftops, and end with the serenade of crickets under a starlit sky. Yet, amidst this everyday cadence, Meryton, like any other place, witnesses the complex interplay of human emotions, desires, and aspirations. It's not just the town's physical beauty, but also its inhabitants' shared experiences, hopes, and dreams that make Meryton a canvas of rich narratives waiting to unfold. In the heart of Hertfordshire, 5 sisters provided the town with ample subject for conversation. Jane, the eldest, radiated a beauty that was celebrated throughout the county. Her countenance reflected an inherent goodness mirroring the purity of her heart. Elizabeth II often stole the limelight with her sharp wit and independent spirit. Her eyes sparkled with intelligence, often revealing her thought before she'd even spoken them. Mary, standing in contrast, held onto her books and pianoforte. A serious disposition framed her character, rendering her the moral compass of the family. On many an occasion, Catherine, often referred to as Kitty, followed her younger sibling, Lydia, in moods and mischief. Yet, beneath her youthful exuberance, one could sometimes catch a hint of caution, hinting at a depth yet to be explored. Lydia, the youngest, was a whirlwind of energy and flirtatious endeavours. Her lively spirits, though a source of joy for some, often bordered on recklessness. Together, these sisters embodied a spectrum of womanhood in Regency England, each one with her unique characteristics contributed to the rich tapestry of their family's story, navigating the societal norms and challenges of their time. Their interwoven personalities and dreams formed the cornerstone of many narratives in Meryton. But at the heart of it all was their shared bond of sisterhood, a force to be reckoned with in both love and adversity. The quaint town of Meryton had been familiar with its usual inhabitants until a ripple of excitement surged through the community. News had spread that the nearby Netherfield Park had been let. Netherfield, with its grand facades and sprawling lawns, had remained vacant for too long, leaving room for wild tales and children's ghost stories to inhabit its walls. But now it was to be occupied by a young man of large fortune, a man from the north of England, possessing wealth. Charles Bingley. His arrival was not just any event. It was the spark that ignited a whirlwind of speculations and imaginations. Hopes and dreams of many were suddenly pinned on this newcomer. For the mothers, he was a potential match for their daughters, and for the local traders, he was a boost to the economy. Every household found themselves in animated discussions about Mr. Bingley's potential stay, his fortune, and of course his marital status. Some said he was tall, fair, and incredibly handsome, while others claimed he had a mysterious air about him. Every event in town suddenly became a potential stage for his first appearance. The local inns saw an unusual flurry of activity, with proprietors and bartenders being pestered for any information about the man from the north. Indeed, Mr. Bingley's arrival was not merely a change in the tenant list of Netherfield Park. It was the beginning of new tales, new dream, and the chance of new beginnings for the people of Meryton in the world of pride and prejudice, amidst the countryside's charm and society's expectations. There emerges a figure of mystery and elegance. Mr. Fitzwilliam Darcy, he stands tall, a brooding presence, against the colourful backdrop of Meryton's festivities. Each movement, every gesture seems considered, hinting at a world of private thoughts and reserved emotions. From the moment of his arrival with Mr. Bingley, whispers began to float around the room. It wasn't just his impressive wealth, 10,000 a year, they said, but something intangible that drew the eyes of many. Some labelled it as pride, while others saw a depth of character, a man unyielding in his principles. Though his handsome face and fine features were undeniable, it was more than just physical allure. There was a silent strength in his demeanour, a quiet confidence that often clashed with the overt liveliness of Meryton. Many felt a certain coldness, an aloofness, as if a shield was constantly up, protecting him from the world. Yet, for those willing to look closer, to truly observe, there lay hints of vulnerability, a brief hesitation in his steps, a fleeting softness in his eyes, moments that hinted at a soul searching for understanding and connection. He was an enigma, a puzzle that many tried to solve. Each interaction, every dance and conversation became a piece in this intricate jigsaw of his character. Would Meryton's society, especially our spirited Elizabeth Bennet, ever be able to see beyond the facade, or would they remain entrenched in their initial judgments, missing the layers that lay beneath? Only time and the unfolding narrative would reveal the truth behind the allure of Mr. Darcy's aura. The Meryton Ball was a highly anticipated event in the town's social calendar. Elegant gowns swished and swayed, catching the candlelight. As ladies took their places, gentlemen stood tall, their coats neatly buttoned, and eyes scanning the room. Every corner of the assembly room was filled with the soft hum of conversation, laughter, and the occasional whisper. Candle chandeliers overhead cast a warm, inviting glow. Delicate fragrances of rose and lavender wafted through the air as ladies passed by, fans fluttering. The soft notes of a violin began, signalling the start of the evening's dances. Partners bowed and curtsied, acknowledging each other with the etiquette of the times. Couples began to move in harmony as the music guided them. From the sidelines, parents watched with bated breath, hoping for favorable matches for their children. Amidst the swirling colors and sounds, Elizabeth Bennet, with her sharp wit and lively spirit, moved gracefully across the dance floor, while Mr. Darcy, with his reserved demeanor, observed the proceedings with a critical eye. The juxtaposition of their personalities became evident as the evening wore on. Elizabeth's laughter rang out, bright and clear, as she engaged with her friends and dance partners. Darcy, on the other hand, seemed to prefer the shadows, keeping to himself and speaking only when spoken to. To onlookers, Darcy's refusal to dance with anyone but Bingley's sisters seemed a mark of supreme arrogance. His offhand comment about Elizabeth being tolerable but not handsome enough to tempt him whispered through the ballroom, stoking the fires of gossip. Elizabeth, ever the observer, caught wind of this comment. Her pride pricked. However, instead of succumbing to anger, she responded with characteristic humor, sharing Darcy's words with her friends, laughing off the slight. Yet, beneath the laughter, a seed of judgment was planted in Elizabeth's heart. While Darcy's exterior exuded pride internally, he was not immune to Elizabeth's charms. And as the evening progressed, he found himself increasingly drawn to her lively disposition and intelligent conversation. Their exchanges, though few, were charged with an undercurrent of mutual challenge. Elizabeth's sharp wit met Darcy's proud demeanor head on, creating a dance more intricate than any waltz. Though the evening ended with Darcy and Elizabeth on seemingly opposing sides, the stage was set. Their dance at the Meryton Ball was just the beginning of a much deeper, more complex dance of emotions and judgments. This ball, a microcosm of society, highlighted the struggles of first impressions and the dangers of swift judgments, and thus the seeds of a story filled with misconceptions, growth, and eventual understanding. The English countryside, with its idyllic landscapes, often witnesses tales of blooming love. Meryton was no exception. In the heart of this lively town, Mr. Charles Bingley, a man of affable charm, his countenance radiated a natural warmth. Each time he entered a room, the air seemed to grow a tad lighter. Amongst the bevy of young ladies vying for his attention, there stood Jane Bennet. Jane, with her gentle demeanor, seemed like the embodiment of early morning. sunshine. Their initial meetings were those of fleeting glances and brief exchanges, yet there was an unmistakable spark between them. It was evident in the way their laughter seemed to harmonize during conversations, or how their eyes searched for each other amidst the crowd. Social events became occasions for stolen moments and shared secrets. The local populace couldn't help notice the budding affection between the two. Whispers about their budding relationship filled drawing rooms and tea parties. Jane's heart, often guarded, seemed to resonate with Bingley's affections, and Bingley, though surrounded by many, only had eyes for Jane. Their connection was a testimony to the idea that love, when true, an unspoken bond, a magnetic pull, drawing two souls together. In the grand tapestry of life, their threads seemed destined to intertwine. The simplicity of their love was its true beauty. In a world where pride and prejudices often dictated relationships, their bond was a beacon of genuine affection. Their journey together was just beginning, and the townsfolk of Meryton awaited with bated breath, hoping for love to triumph. Love, after all, is the gentle whisper of the universe, reminding us of its magic. In a society as intertwined as Meryton, the arrival of a new face was always a topic of keen interest. Enter George Wickham, a young officer with a pleasing countenance and an even more captivating charm. He bore an air of ease and amiability that endeared him instantly to the Meryton society. Yet beneath the polished veneer lay tales that would stir the waters of perception. One evening, under the sheltering canopy of Meryton's starlit skies, Wickham began sharing glimpses of his past. He spoke of his childhood, intertwined with the grandeur of Pemberley, the very estate of Mr. Darcy, a bond, he claimed, that was rooted in the deep friendship between their fathers. His tales painted a picture of promise and betrayal, with young Wickham seemingly wronged by Darcy's refusal to grant him a clergy position that was rightfully his. The gravity in his voice, the weight of his words, and the subtle sorrow in his eyes made his tales even more believable. As the tales unraveled, a portrayal emerged of Darcy as a man of immense pride, wielding power and wealth with disregard for others. The townsfolk listened, rapt with attention, hanging on to every word, every nuance. In that moment, Wickham's tale seemed to overshadow the entirety of Darcy's character, presenting him in a light that was in stark contrast to the silent and reserved gentleman Meryton had known. Through these tales, George Wickham managed to cast a shadow of doubt, effortlessly sowing seeds of distrust. But stories, especially those delivered with charm, often require a discerning ear, for charm can sometimes veil the truth. In the vibrant tapestry of Meryton's society, Mr. Wickham appeared as a shimmering thread. He bore a countenance that spoke of approachability, his demeanor graced by a certain charm that made him immediately likable. Elizabeth Bennet, with her quick wit and keen observations, often prided herself on reading people well. But even the most discerning of eyes can sometimes be clouded by personal prejudices or led astray by an engaging facade. Upon their introduction, Wickham, with his easy manner and enticing anecdotes, quickly captivated Elizabeth. He wove tales of his past, recounting his connections with Mr. Darcy, sharing grievances, and painting himself as a wronged man. Every word, every insinuation against Darcy found a willing ear in Elizabeth. Could it have been Wickham's charm that swayed her? Or perhaps her existing judgments about Darcy that made his stories more palatable? Whichever it was, Elizabeth's normally judicious nature took a step back, allowing her emotions and personal biases to shape her perspective. Wickham's tales portrayed him as the underdog, a man wronged by someone more powerful, and this narrative appealed to Elizabeth's sense of justice. But little did she realize, in this intricate dance of words and impressions, she was but one step away from a precipice of misconception. It is a cautionary moment, highlighting the ease with which we can be drawn into believing what aligns with our preconceived notions, and how essential it is to pause, reflect, and seek the truth, even when faced with the most convincing of tales. In the small village of Hunsford, in Kent, a significant transformation was taking place. Charlotte Lucas, Elizabeth Bennet's dear friend, had accepted the marriage proposal of Mr. Collins. Now, Mr. Collins, for those who may not recall, was a clergyman with a particularly high opinion of his own virtues and a penchant for long-winded speeches. His proposal to Elizabeth had been met with a firm refusal, but when he turned his attentions to Charlotte, she saw it as an opportunity. For Charlotte, this marriage was not about passionate love, but a pragmatic choice. She was fully aware of her waning prospects, given her age and society's expectation. And Mr. Collins, with his stable position and connection to Lady Catherine de Bourgh, was considered a suitable match. Elizabeth, upon hearing of this engagement, was filled with a mix of surprise and concern. She valued love and genuine connection. Ideals which seemed absent in Charlotte's decision. Yet, as the days turned into weeks, Elizabeth began to understand her friend's perspective. In those times, women often had limited choices and faced societal pressures that might seem archaic today. Visiting Charlotte in her new home, Elizabeth was offered a glimpse into the couple's day-to-day life. Mr. Collins' sycophantic tendencies, especially towards Lady Catherine, were ever apparent, but Charlotte, with her practical mindset, had established a comfortable, independent space for herself, finding moments of peace amidst the routine. This revelation was an exercise in understanding for Elizabeth. It was a poignant reminder that life's decisions aren't always black and white. Every individual's journey is unique, defined by circumstances, choices, and personal resilience. And while love, in its most passionate form, is a gift, there are other forms of love, quieter but equally valid, that are built on understanding, compromise, and mutual respect. Lady Catherine de Bourgh, a name that evokes a certain air of prestige and haughtiness, residing in the stately Rosings Park. Lady Catherine, with her formidable presence, commands attention. Her residence, Rosings, is a reflection of her character. Grand, opulent, and designed to impress. Yet, beneath the surface of affluence, Lady Catherine's often unveil her preoccupations with rank, status, and the maintenance of societal norms. One could observe her penchant for giving unsolicited advice, a habit that frequently borders on condescension. Indeed, her conversations often revolve around the goings on of society, her own opinions on matters, and most significantly, her expectation. There's a palpable sense of entitlement that Lady Catherine carries with her. This perhaps stems from her elevated position in society, which she guards fiercely, ensuring that those around her are constantly reminded of it. However, while she may appear to some as overbearing, there is a layer of complexity to her character. She exhibits a genuine concern for her nephews, particularly Mr. Darcy, which sometimes manifests as overt interference in their affairs. It is evident in the way she seeks to influence decisions, especially those concerning matrimony, holding firm beliefs about preserving the sanctity of noble bloodline. Her interactions with Elizabeth Bennet especially are intriguing. There's a tug of war of wills, a clash of personalities, and yet a subtle mutual respect that underlines their conversation. while Lady Catherine's world revolves around established conventions. Elizabeth challenges them, making their dynamic especially captivating. In Lady Catherine, we see a portrayal of societal expectations of the time, the weight of lineage, the pressures of propriety, and the unwavering adherence to tradition. In essence, she is a mirror to the societal constructs of her era, illuminating the challenges that characters like Elizabeth face in their journeys of self-discovery and love. The countryside of Kent had its own stories to tell. Each curve and slope was a testament to times gone by, holding within it tales of generations past. Elizabeth, during her stay, became well acquainted with Colonel Fitzwilliam, Mr. Darcy's genteel and affable cousin. Their casual walks and conversations in the gardens of Rosings Park provided more than just an understanding of the topiaries and fountains. It was in one of these moments, amidst the blooming roses and the gentle hum of spring, that Colonel Fitzwilliam, perhaps unintentionally, let slip a revelation that would. His words were weighed with a mix of admiration and sympathy, as he spoke of a recent intervention by a dear friend to prevent a most imprudent match. This dear friend had perceived the dangers and follies of a connection and had taken upon himself the responsibility of dissuading his companion from a grievous error. It was not long before Elizabeth connected the dots, realizing that this friend was none other than Mr. Darcy, and the match in question, the tender, budding feelings between her beloved sister, Jane, her heart, which had already been heavy with mixed feelings for Darcy, now bore an additional weight of displeasure. How easy it is to miss the details in the vast tapestry of human relations, to misjudge and to misunderstand. Yet, this revelation was just a piece of the puzzle, a chapter in the intricate novel of intertwined destinies. The tale of Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy so far has been a complex weave of emotions, misunderstandings, and societal expectation, from the bustling streets of Meryton to the grandeur of Rosings Park. We've journeyed alongside these two protagonists. We felt the electric tension between them, witnessed the mishaps, and experienced the delicate dance of emotions that has kept us at the edge of our dreams. But, as in all captivating tales, some chapters end with questions left unanswered, puzzles half finished, waiting for the next piece to fall into place. The English countryside, with its unpredictable weather, mirrors the state of our story, each character with their own hopes and apprehensions has made choices that have brought them to this moment, yet what the morrow brings is uncertain. Will misunderstandings be cleared? Can past offences be forgiven? Is there a possibility of love, true and unyielding, that can overcome the barriers of pride and prejudice? These questions and the promise of answers are what beckon us forward, and just like the sun that sets, only to rise again, our voyage into this tale will continue. Tomorrow, we shall once again embark on this journey, unraveling the layers and discovering the hidden depths of our beloved characters. Until then, may the peace of the English countryside and the allure of the story cradle you into a restful slumber. Imagine the soft tendrils of the Kentish countryside ere it gently caresses Elizabeth Bennet's face as she takes her solitary walks, each step more deliberate than the last. Envision her posture, upright and composed, yet with a touch of ease. Her movements mirror the balance we often seek in life. A blend of pride in oneself and an open heart to the world. Now, allow that imagery to guide you in relaxing your own muscles. Begin with your toes. Feel them wiggle slightly, acknowledging their existence. Then allow them to rest, releasing any tension. Move to the arches of your feet, imagining them tracing Elizabeth's path on soft earthen trails. Let this relaxation travel upwards, winding its way like the picturesque paths of Rosings Park, reaching your calves and knees. Your thighs follow, resting heavily, feeling supported and grounded, just as Elizabeth feels her connection to the land she treads upon. The gentle rise and fall of your belly reflect her own breaths, deep with contemplation and introspection. Your chest, the keeper of your heart, relaxes too, drawing parallels to the vulnerable revelations of emotions in our tale. Shoulders drop, mimicking the shedding of preconceived notions and prejudices. Feel the length of your arms, reaching out much like the extended hands of reconciliation and understanding. Fingers uncurl, their relaxed state resembling the unfurling of new chapters and self-discoveries. Your neck eases allowing your head to find its natural tilt, reminiscent of Elizabeth's poised yet curious demeanor. Lastly, the muscles on your face soften. Your forehead smooths out like the resolution of misunderstandings, while your eyes, mouth, and cheeks settle into a calm, mirroring the peace that comes from true self-awareness. In this state of relaxation, you are enveloped in the comforting embrace of the English countryside, where every muscle, every fibre of your being embarks on its own journey of self-discovery and love. Good night, dear Voyager. See you in the next episode.